Hello class, welcome to the second video lesson. Today we will be covering two sections. We'll be covering sections 1-2 and 1-3. In sections 1-2 we'll be taking a look at order of operations, and you can find this in your textbook on page 8. In section 1-3 we'll be looking at writing and evaluating expressions, and you can find it on page 14. Let's begin. Alright, you guys may or may not remember order of operations, but there was a little rhyme that went along with it. We'll get to that in just a minute. But order of operations are basically telling us, well, what do we do first? Do we add? Do we multiply? Do we divide? Do we subtract? What do we do first? Well, here's a little rhyme that helped us remember it. Here's the letters that go along with it. We have P, E, M, D, A, and S. And I've put the word and in between the M and the D and the A and the S. And you'll see in just a minute. But the P is for parentheses. The E is for exponents. M is for multiplication. D is for division. A is for addition. And S is for subtraction. Now some people remember it like this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Some of you may have never heard of that, but it's just something that elementary school kids learn to help them remember. These are the order of operations. What comes first? Parentheses, please. Then exponents, excuse. And then what comes next is not M, but M and D. It depends on which one is first as you read it. It's not that you do multiplication before division. It's that they're together on the same level, okay? Same for addition and subtraction. I don't do addition before subtraction. It depends on which one is written first, okay? Let's do some examples and maybe you guys will understand better. So for our first example, we have example 1. Make sure you do put example 1 right there, okay? It helps you find it for your note quiz easier. So here we have 8 plus 12 divided by 4. So what do we do first? According to the order of operations, we should divide first. So I'm going to write down the 8 because I'm not doing anything with it. So we're going to write down the 8 and say 8 plus 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 8 plus 3 is, well, that would be 11. So 11 is our answer, and we're going to box it in. Okay? Let's take a look at another example. Here we have example 2, and we have 5 minus 3 plus 2. Now remember, even though when we say the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, the A comes first, but I pointed out that addition and subtraction are done kind of together. It's not that addition is done first, it just depends on which one is written first. So here, the subtraction is written first. So in order for us to get the correct answer, we have to subtract first, okay? So we would subtract, say 5 minus 3. You would end up with 2. And we bring down the addition. We say plus 2. And then we would add the 2 together to get 4. And we box in our answer. Notice that if you had done the addition first, you would have gotten 3 plus 2 to get 5. And then you would have 5 minus 5 and you would get 0. So the order in which you work the problems does matter. If you do not work them in the correct order, you're not going to get the correct answer. Let's take a look at a third example. This time we're going to include parentheses. Now, this has more than just parentheses. You'll notice these block-like shaped lines. These are known as brackets. You use them when you have to use more than one set of parentheses. So what that just says is, since parentheses comes first, I do everything inside the parentheses first. So I ignore this stuff outside for right now, and I look inside. Well, inside my first set of parentheses, I have another set of parentheses. So I ignore everything outside that. So I do everything inside the inner set of parentheses first. So I would end up with 2, bracket, parenthesis. Then we end up with 6 divided by, put the parenthesis there, divided by 3, bracket, minus 1. So that's what we have so far. So now we do what's inside this set of parentheses. We would say 6 divided by 3. So we would have 2, bracket, and we would say, well, 6 divided by 3 is 2, close the bracket, minus 1. Now what do we do next? Well, you might not know this, but a number touching a bracket or a number touching a parenthesis up against it like this, it means that you're supposed to multiply. So now we have 2 times 2 minus 1. And since multiplication is first, we're going to multiply. So we end up with 4 minus 1, which equals 5. Box in our answer, and we're done. So that pretty much takes care of order of operations. If you need to see more, go to the page that I listed above, and you can look at some more examples from order of operations. And they even have some quick checks that you can work to see if you're understanding what you need to do. All right, let's flip the page. You might not need to. Maybe you write smaller than I do. But we're going to flip the page, and I'm going to turn to the next part. We're going to take a look at evaluating expressions. All right? So now I would like to look at this. And I want you to write down these two sentences. It says, to evaluate a variable expression, you first replace each variable with a number. Then you use the order of operations to simplify. Simplify means that we get it down to one number. So there's no operations left. Once you simplify, there should be no addition signs, no plus signs. This is where you basically what we did before, the last 3 examples, we simplified those expressions. They were numerical expressions. We worked them out and got them down to one number. So let's take a look at this first example. You'll see it written like this. It'll say evaluate, and we have a variable expression. Because it is an expression, it contains a variable, numbers, operation symbols, variable expression. We're told that we need to replace the variable with a number. Now, they give us the number they want us to replace it with. It'll say evaluate 3x plus 7 for x is equal to 4. So whenever you see the variable that's over here in the expression, it'll be written off to the side with an equal sign, and it's going to be equal to a number. We just take that number and replace the x. When you replace a variable, it's always a good idea to put the number inside parentheses. I'll show you what that looks like. So we're going to rewrite this. We're going to put 3, put parentheses, a pair of parentheses where the x was. So just like that, okay? And we write everything else just like there, okay? You can ignore that bell that just went off. And now we fill the parenthesis up with the number. So we put the 4 there. All right, remember what we just learned. A number up against a parenthesis means multiply. So now to simplify this, we're going to have to multiply. So we say 3 times 4, which is 12 plus 7. Well, 12 plus 7 is 19. And there is your answer. Okay? Let's look at another example. This one contains 3 variables. All right? So here it says evaluate 5a plus bc divided by 2. So now we're going to go through and replace every variable with its appropriate number. So we're going to skip a few lines so I have plenty of room. I'm going to say 5 parenthesis plus, put my division bar and my 2 here, and I'm going to put 2 sets of parentheses up here. See this? One set for each variable I replace, the b and the c. And now we filled it in. Over here I have my a is 3, my b is 4, and my c is 7. And so now we just follow the order of operations. Well, multiplication I can obviously see is right here, so we're going to multiply. Okay, so I have 5 times 3, which is 15, plus, and up here I have multiplication. I have 4 times 7, which is 28 divided by 2. So now I have addition and division. What do I do next? Division. So here we have 15 plus 14, which equals 29. And that is as simple as it gets, guys. Now in class, we're going to take a look at what it means to write an expression and how to solve word problems. But we're not going to do that right now in these notes. All right, you're done. Hope you have a good day.